The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles, and broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Wake up, good morning. Welcome to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign here in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. Ladies, what's up? It's Victory Monday.
I felt during that game that it was like Russell Crowe at the end, towards the end of Gladiator. Are you not entertained? It may not have been perfect. It was ugly in many ways. It felt like the teams were moving backwards sometimes as much as they were moving forward, but a W is a W, and to use a baseball analogy, they all look like line drives in the box score.
That's a good one. Hey, Cowboys get the win. That's all we care about. 40 to 37.
There you go.
Perfect timing. The final in overtime, something that I'm pretty sure nobody expected to see, but I mean, sloppy start, both teams, offensively and penalties. Oh my goodness, flags were thrown, but just everywhere. Flag show.
It looked like an interpretive dance. The way I literally tweeted it, I said, "These refs been practicing these flags."
They're sick.
They be like,
No, it's crazy.
It was so bad on that one play that had the 4 penalties on the same play. One by CD, 3 by the Giants, that the referee, one of the officials, actually the field judge, ran out of flags. You only have one yellow flag, so he tossed his hat. So we had 3 flags and 1 hat on the field, 4 penalties, and yet they offset, so it was a do-over as if the play never happened.
I'm sick.
running out of flags is crazy.
That's insane. Dang, they only keep 4 flags?
Well, each has only 1 flag.
Oh, okay.
He threw 2, but he only had 1, so he had to throw his hat.
Makes sense. Wow.
I'm tired of them.
Math.
But yeah,
working.
the penalties, like you said, Nicole, the game in itself in so many instances was just like, well, what's happening here? However, I do think the Cowboys put together, especially offensively and defensively, in those clutch moments in that game, they put together some drives. They got... I don't know. I can't say they got stops. They got something at the end a little bit. But, yeah, I think they did enough to pull out that game, and I thought your quarterback really, really led that team through the fourth quarter and in overtime. Nicole.
Yeah, let's talk about it offensively. Dallas in week 1 having a chance to, we can say, lean on their run game, over 100 yards rushing, opened up the pass. Same thing we can say in terms of this offense as well in week 2 against the Giants. Cavante Turpin obviously getting that first touchdown for the Cowboys. They were struggling offensively, but just talk about the way that the Cowboys were able to finally get the ball moving. Aisha, Christy?
Yeah.
I would just say the main thing is utilizing all the targets. And I would include a run game in that. I know we're talking about Dak in the passing game, but one of the things that Shoddy talked about Friday going into this weekend was the need to get more explosive plays in the run game. And so we saw Javonte, we saw Miles Sanders score on long runs, so that was really good to see. And then Pickens, he's just so great at drawing penalties. So, 3 that he drew? And then going to him there late in the game, and just the fact that you got the ball 3 times in an overtime period, 3 different possessions. One of them came off of the interception by Donovan Wilson, of course. But I just like the way that they were able to spread it around, and the way that CD was able to respond as we knew he would after his disappointing end to the Week 1 game in Philly.
Yeah, offensively, I thought that they had a good mix of pass and run. Unfortunately, they were playing from behind, so that put more emphasis on the passing game. You weren't able to really settle into your run game until, I want to say closer to the second quarter, where they were really able to settle in that way because they had the flexibility at that point. It was weird because I haven't gotten a chance to catch the film because it dropped early in the morning. But I want to, when I go back and watch, I want to understand what was happening with the offensive line, because I thought the Giants' defensive line was giving them trouble in a lot of areas. Obviously, Dexter Lawrence is a guy that warrants a double team, and that puts the rest of your offensive line in one-on-ones. Those exchanges, those communications have to be done well. I think the Giants used a couple twists and stunts. Some of those things kind of slipped up your young interior, and your tackles really had some trouble in this game. So the way in which that they finally got the ball rolling and running the ball was not what I expected. I expected for them to attack the edges and they did try. They tried, but the blocks on the outside and getting out there in enough time from the tackles and the tight ends wasn't good enough in certain spots in the game. But your tight ends did come to play in that fourth quarter and overtime, and I think you saw that in the running game and the passing game. But yeah, like Christy mentioned, distributing the ball, I felt like it was pretty evenly matched, I guess, in that regard. And I thought that, I thought the quarterback had control of this offense every time he stepped on the field as we got into the second half. And I think he felt the moment. What you got?
No, I was just looking back at some of my notes, and I feel like I had a couple of moments on some drives where Terrence Steele was having some issues. It was on.
Yeah, Brian Burns is a beast.
Yeah. I mean,
he played really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, expected that. What you got?
Yeah, and then you saw them, the Cowboys' run game, obviously run up the middle a lot more, just because the tackles were having some issues. But I mean, in terms of the run game, I mean, Javonte Williams having 3 rushing touchdowns now, Miles Sanders getting in on the action as well. I mean, you guys obviously have to feel a little bit more confident, right, in this run game, considering what they've been able to put together.
Yeah, I just the line, they were so physical, and they were moving everybody back in Philadelphia. Now, I know Jalen Carter got ejected for spitting before the first play from scrimmage, but the line didn't take it to the Giants the way they took it to the Eagles in week 1, and yet they were still able to get through it. And Dak did have another good game under a lot more duress, in my opinion, than he did in week 1. So I also know that it's just a real comforting thing that if you can just get it to, they were talking about it in the locker room after the game, if we could just get the ball to the Blue Star, we knew that we'd set up Bud or Aubrey for the field goals, and what a comfort that is. And that dude is money. And I know we'll talk about teams later, but I can just tell you on the sideline, it's like, oh, so he's probably kicking into the net and getting ready. He'll do a couple of kicks into the net, but mostly he's like on one knee and just kind of, I mean, he's kind of staring intently. He's going through visualization in his mind and things like that. But with him, you wouldn't know if the team were winning by 50 points, losing by 50 points, if he had missed 5 in a row from 64 or made 10 in a row from 64. It's always the same on the sideline.
Yeah.
It's so. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's just interesting with him because I feel like he, to your point about him not doing a whole bunch of kicking on the net and stuff like that, and just his, we talk about kicker being similar to corner, is that it's very confidence based, but also too it takes a steadiness.
Yes.
And he just embodies that without trying. It feels like he's not trying. I feel like he naturally is just like that. Furthermore, I think it's time playing soccer. Sometimes they have those, penalty kicks. Sometimes he's been in under pressure situations, where things are on the line for him, in a sport outside of here. And I know that there are teams around the league that are looking at what, former Cowboys special teams coordinator Bones Fossil did with Kevontae Turpin and Aubrey, and they're probably looking to expand and be more open-minded with how they bring in talent, because he has made a difference. I mean, he might be one of the most important people on your team through the last 2 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Has to be.
Absolutely.
Has to be. Yeah. And so I don't know. It's weird being that so calm when he goes and kicks. Because you look around the league yesterday, everybody ain't got that luxury.
Hello.
No. And the whole crowd, 93,000 people. Were there doubts? Did you seriously doubt that he was going to make it?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, and if I were Brandon Aubrey's agent, I think I would have called. What time did the game end yesterday? 3:54 p.m. I think at 3:55 I would have
Called Jerry.
made the call to Cowboys personnel. And are you ready to talk about extension now?
Yeah, I literally tweeted like,
Pay him.
Baby, when he step in the locker room, we need to be over there.
Well, did you hear that as he's coming off the field and everybody's chanting his name?
Yeah.
Well, the fans as you go up, and it was really awesome.
Don't make me emotional.
I mean, you gotta be.
I think I mean, it's just cool seeing guys. Well, first of all, too, I know we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this game. I know we're gonna talk about all the stuff that they did wrong, that they need to improve, and all that stuff. I'm trying to remind myself, number one, it's week 2, but also, too, that win felt like a big deal for this team. And I know that you ladies were around, so I want to know, like, how was it? How did it feel? It sounds like there were a lot of cheers in the locker room. We got to see Shotty's breakdown, which I thought was awesome because it felt like I was watching WWE again. Well, let me say if, because if you know, you know. You know? Yeah. So tell us about that experience, Christy, and tell us about, like, what did you feel and what did you feel, Nicole?
Yeah. Oh, I felt like when you walk in the locker room, first off, you can hear the cheers outside of the locker room as Jerry was speaking to the media. And then when you walk in, it's like a breath of fresh air. You know, a lot of the guys, just a lot of excitement, right? Because you know what, head coach Brian Schottenheimer has done throughout his entire career to get here, finally get, his first win, and for him. I thought it was a special moment. Dak obviously talking about it in the press conference as well, and just saying that he had his fair share of words, in terms of what they said to Shotty. But I don't know. I feel like this team deserved it. They showed a lot of resilience, and yeah, it was nice to see. Christy, what you?
Yeah, I think it felt kind of like a great escape, right? All of the mistakes you made, all of the big plays that you allowed, particularly in the long passes allowed to,
oh my goodness,
to Russell Wilson and the Giants. But then you come out and after that great escape, and it's like Tim Robbins at the end of Shawshank Redemption, where it's, so partly relief, but mostly joy that you got away with that one, because I'll be honest, there in the second half, and it looked like the Cowboys were going to have it in hand, and then they give up another one of the big plays, a touchdown to Malik. In particular, I thought, oh my gosh, this coming week is going to be awful.
Yep.
At the Star, it's going to be awful, and then to just have it turn on a dime. But it just, there was no flow to that game. It was so herky jerky. The way that Brad Sham of Cowboys Radio, my colleague, described it, he says this is a game of pulling taffy. It's just like there's no flow. It was because of the penalties, right? Yeah. But you're able to come through it, and like I say, a W is a W. They all look like line drives in the box score. It doesn't matter how you get it.
Well, they got Brandon Aubrey to thank for that, because if he does not make that 64-yarder, this game does not go into overtime. So shout out to Butter Aubrey for that. But we are going to take our first break. We're going to dive into the meat and potato, as Aisha described it, of this game. What happened, what worked, what didn't work in terms of this offense and this defense later in the show here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
The countdown to game day starts with Rally Days, presented by SeatGeek. Get a behind-the-scenes look at AT&T Stadium, meet the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and alumni, play games, win prizes, and more. Get your tickets at AT&TStadium.com/Rally Days.
Rally Days, you said?
Rally Days.
You know who rallied yesterday?
Come on.
There you go.
The Dallas Cowboys to get the win in week 2 over the Giants. It's their first win of the season and their first divisional win, but we are going to break down a little bit of more of what happened, specifically this last 3 minutes of the game before overtime. You had a Miles Sanders touchdown, then the Giants answer with a deep ball to Robinson touchdown. Then you had, of course, George Pickens getting his first little touchdown of his Dallas Cowboys error, and then Malik Neighbors, Russell Wilson dropping it right in the bucket to Malik Neighbors. That whole freaking last 250 minutes drive me insane.
I was losing it.
Literally.
Go ahead.
What? How would you describe it, Christy? Because you
can't use those words. There are 7 words, as George Carlin says, that you could lose your FCC license. So that's what I was thinking on the Malik Neighbors touchdown. It was like, no, really. I mean, how can you give up the same mistakes over and over in terms of letting the guys get behind you? So it was obviously it was very frustrating. That's how I felt, frustrated.
Well, the secondary certainly. I'm sorry. Why are you laughing?
Because I'm laughing at myself of what I was doing.
What were you doing?
What were you doing? I don't even want to know.
Were you frustrated as well?
I be stress petting my cat when I'm at home. I know he be tired of me. My cat's name is Puff, and I have him. And when the game is on, I be like, "Come here," and he be like, "Nah, he don't want it." But I was like,
Puff is now a hairless cat.
y'all know if you got a cat, you know you be stress petting your cat. Don't do me like that. Go ahead.
Goodness. Oh, no. I was just let's talk about the offensive drives, those 2 touchdowns. What worked for the Cowboys? What did you guys like from what y'all saw?
For me, it was just like I said, it was really the quarterback's decisiveness. You could tell that he decided we're gonna go score. And I thought the offensive line, like you said, Christy, they didn't seem as they're how do I say this? They weren't as strong at the point of attack as they were against Philly, where you saw them adamantly moving people off the line. But baby, in that fourth quarter and overtime, those drives, they were moving humans in the run game. And so I think also too, like the offensive line really coming together was what stood out to me, and the mixture of run and pass that that felt like some of the most balanced football you had played all game. And also, Cowboys went hurry up. Cowboys went tempo.
Yes.
And that was something that I think we did see a little bit in the game, but they relied, obviously you kind of are, but they relied heavily on it during that fourth quarter and overtime. And I think that helped them in regard to the Giants' defense not being able to get set, not being able to communicate the same way. I think they caught them off guard, especially their secondary. Caught their secondary off guard a couple times, and then they were able to hit them in the mouth with the run game. and mix some of those in there as well. So I think just the plan and the decisiveness is what stood out to me offensively in that part of the game. What you got?
Well, in regards to what you say about the line, let's give kudos to Brock Hoffman.
Oh, absolutely.
Who came in
Had to
for
step in.
Cooper Beebe, the starting center, hurt his ankle late in the fourth quarter. So Hoffman was on the field for that final drive of regulation and then in there for the overtime. And as you say, it didn't really appear as if the line missed a beat. I think there was one slight bobble on one of the quarterback center exchanges, but just being able to step in and do that. And then remember, they were also without Kevontae Turpin, who had the neck injury, and that was in the later in the third quarter. So they played essentially 2 quarters. I know an overtime is only 10 minutes, but over 25 minutes of game time without Turpin, who they were using a lot in the second half, featuring him. In fact, he was being used 3 plays in a row on one of those series in the fourth quarter. But yeah, the fact that they were able to remain multiple is, I think, a big key in that success late in the game.
Yeah, and it was good to see, finally what this 1-2 punch in CD and Pickens would look like, right? Just because when they started to kind of shade coverage over to CD, you were able to hit Pickens on the other side, and sometimes, heck, even then lined up on the same side and kind of going in misdirection. You saw that a little bit as well, so that was also a different level of this offense you were able to see. But in terms of Jalen Tolbert, what did you guys like? Because he did come down with that one third down catch, able to move the chains. What did y'all like? What do y'all need to see a little bit more out from Tolbert?
Well, that's going to be his role. He's not going to get too many times when you've got you have CD, you have George Pickens, you got Jake Ferguson, and Terp. So he's not going to get too many targets, but he was able to take advantage of that one. That was really a key conversion on that play. So again, Dak not being afraid to use all of his targets, being multiple, so important.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what y'all were saying about Kevontae Turpin, this is one of the first times that we got to see him just consistently being integrated with. I think in the Philly game you were able to see a little bit of it, but his usage and what his upside is as a receiver and the mismatches you can find, I thought that was on display as well. So definitely still want to make sure we keep an eye on him. But offensively, I also felt like your tight ends blocked better. That was a lot of it, because they were having trouble with those with Thibodeau and Burns, and also too, can't forget Abdul Carter and the fact that they moved him across the line. And I can't wait to see how guys handled him. But you mentioned Brock Hoffman and having to get settled. There were some high snaps in that game. There was a lot of things affecting the quarterback and affecting the rhythm of the offense, to your point, Christy. And they were able to find rhythm in spots. And I think it did give me confidence that if they need to go win a game, that the offense is capable of doing so, and that they're capable of pushing the ball. You ladies mentioned the 1-2 punch. Baby, is George Pickens gonna be slant God and drawing DPIs? Oh my gosh! Because I was just at this point, I think that defenses are being we're not going to let you guys get a connection downfield. We would rather do it this way than for you guys to actually get a rhythm and confidence with this. And it's just interesting because people just grab him. Some of the Philly DBs, they didn't get caught, but some of the Philly DBs were doing that, just grabbing him en route and things like that. And I wonder if this is partially because they're trying to rile him up. I don't know. I know how football works, and I know sometimes it's a mental game as well. And so you'll see on film them just doing he'll have little back and forth exchanges with people. I thought he really shined yesterday. Even listened to him in the locker room and his reactions, and I think he's starting to feel. I think he's always felt kind of at home. I think Dak and him connecting yesterday kind of took it to a next level, and so it paid dividends for them later down the stretch, because I think he also had a third down play. That third and five play in that red zone was huge.
Yep.
Yes.
And then he had the touchdown in the front corner of the end zone. I think that his confidence is starting to shine. Did y'all feel that from him in the locker room, that he's starting to,
I know what you're going to say about
Sorry.
Tyler.
Go ahead, please. You got it.
No, it was just cool to hear Tyler Smith talk about him, because there was so much, what's the word? I'll just say talks before he got here about, his attitude and whether or not he'd fit in with, the shoddy culture, right? And hearing Tyler Smith kind of say, hey, like, he was in the huddle when we were down, like, making sure you guys were hyped up, saying, like, hey, bro, like, we got this, like, keeping guys energetic and, hopeful that they could pull out the win. And so I thought that was kind of unique, a nice little tidbit to know, because you don't necessarily get a chance, or some people don't get a chance to see, most people actually see, like, the real person that George Pickens really is. And so I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah. And in terms of just the way the defensive backs with that physical play, are they trying to rile them up or get in? Now, I think it's just that he is such a physical freak and what a presence athletically that unless you do something, it's a mismatch, and he's going to beat everybody. So they have to. Now, if they were smart, they'd do it at the top of the route when it's only going to be a 5-yard penalty.
Talk about it, Christy.
And get a defensive holding, because if you wait too long, you're going to get defensive pass interference, and it's going to be a spot foul. But just one-on-one, he is such a physical freak. It's such a mismatch that it's really going to be game to game. How physical is the officiating crew going to let the DBs play the wide receivers, and vice versa, because George gives as well as he taketh.
Yeah, he does. So is this like I'm talking.
No, really.
I'm talking in sports
every
terms.
week
No,
you're doing it. Yeah.
But I'm talking like in sports terms. Is it like how people do like LeBron?
Sure.
They just
it's hack-a-shack.
Yeah,
it's hack-a-shack.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm just like, and in one of those passes that he was interfered in, he still caught it.
Yeah.
I said, you're sick. You're sick.
Yeah, people couldn't, in the NBA, people couldn't control Shaquille O'Neal. So you just foul him. And you would get extra backup centers for your game, because you knew that you were going to commit so many fouls per game. I mean, that was just part of how the other team game planned it, right?
Yeah.
So, because they couldn't handle him physically. So, I think that it's just so tough. Oh, and by the way, CD... he's hard, he's a physical mismatch as well over on the other side. So, and wasn't it fun when they were on the same side together?
Oh, I love when it's Turpin, him, and Turpin, CD, and Pickens, and they do those bunch formations. I mean, holy crap. How stressful does that have to be for a secondary to deal with? So, I think that this game was a big confidence builder for the offense specifically, and there's some things to look forward to as they continue to grow. And again, Javonte Williams, That I'm very happy for him that he has stayed the course. He's been confident, and it's so crazy. Everybody, I know I was wondering too. I was like, we have not really had the opportunity to see him, full speed and everything. And for him to come out to do what he's been doing in pass protection, because I don't want to not talk about that, which is one of the stronger parts of his game. Added some yardage to in the receiving category yesterday, 33 yards, 6 receptions for 33 yards, averaging 5.5 yards every time that ball touched his hands. I think he's seeing the field well, because there were a couple cutbacks yesterday that your tackles were struggling. And if he cuts inside and he's not patient and bounces outside, there's nothing on this play. So I think Javonte Williams as well in his running, and I believe he's going to start getting some respect out here as a runner and the way that he can run the ball. So I think him contributing is really starting to help this offense round into form as well, because there's some balance for you ladies. There's balance. So, yeah.
Yeah, like it's just starting to scratch the surface a little bit. Like we're just kind of getting a little tease of what it can be for the whole season.
It would be great if we had a good change of pace back as well.
You know what else would be good?
Huh?
You know what else would be good?
What do you say?
You know what else would be good?
What else?
If the secondary takes a step forward in week 3, because they certainly struggled with their mismatches. Malik Neighbors over 100-something yards. I believe it was
160.
160.
Yeah. Wandale had over 140. So.
142. 3 touchdowns combined for those two. You obviously saw Neighbors one-on-one on the outside. I think it was a 28-yard pickup from him over Trayvon Diggs. They were testing him early. Testing Kaiir Elam as well. There was some miscommunication on the back end, especially on that touchdown. I believe it was to Wandale Robinson. Just talk about the secondary and obviously Deron Bland. His presence was missed with the nickel cornerback position as well. Talk about the secondary and what you liked and what you feel like needs to improve. And Christy, I'll start with you.
You just can't allow those explosive plays. You can't and then Robinson up the seam. How does that happen? It's just like, whoa. I'm really curious to hear. I wish that the coordinators this year were speaking on Monday instead of Thursday, because I'd love to hear what Flus has to say today, just in regards to some of the breakdowns that happened. When you're missing one of your top guys and you have Trayvon who's still working back. I don't have the number of plays yet for each player. Have the game book, but
snaps.
The number of snaps.
Yeah, I haven't gotten. Yeah, I was looking.
Yeah, that comes out a little bit later on Monday. But the plan was for Trayvon to not have a certain pitch count, like 20 to 30, as it was in week 1, but they knew that he wasn't going to play what would normally be 60 to 65 plays in a game, so they were going to spot in Triquez Bridges on some plays, but bring Trayvon back in situationally if it were red zone or third down, that type of situation. So that's what they did, and then, of course, Reddy Stewart played the nickel in place of Deron Bland. But Kaiir Elam, I think there were several tough plays for Kaiir. There were some times where Trayvon was, appeared to be chasing from behind, but was he expecting help over the top? So that's what I'm unsure about, and it's kind of hard to point a finger when you don't know if there was a communication mix-up or if, when you're expecting help and you don't get it. It appeared that happened a few times.
Yeah,
But it just can't happen. You cannot give that many explosive plays. And if Russell Wilson hadn't given that gift in overtime, just throwing up that rainbow ball for Donovan Wilson, that was an absolute gift to save the Cowboys there in overtime.
Yeah. So Christy's correct. Like, we won't know who's supposed to be doing what, where, and why until we talk to Eberflus later this week. However, we can say I've been watching Donovan Wilson since before he came to the NFL, and he's never been super rangy, sideline to sideline. I think earlier in his career he had some free safety-esque type hybrid vibes where he could kind of do some of both. But as his career has continued, he is more of a close. He is going to be a stronger player the closer that you have him to the line of scrimmage. So that decision is something we can talk about. And then also too, we talking about George Pickens and what he's been going through and being interfered with, and like you talked about, is affecting him earlier in the route. That was half of the problem. Is that the Cowboys are playing these soft zones, and in playing those soft zones, they're giving up a lot of space to operate.
Free releases.
And not only is it free releases, you ain't even pinching the person when they go by. Do something. Like, you have to redirect redirect the receiver, even if you are passing off, even if you are in a zone, you have to do something to redirect the defender. Because these receivers, they can run. And you're giving them a free release, run and start to cook your safeties too. And so it is just, to me, that's the biggest thing. And I understand that the Cowboys are really, like, you got some new faces, of course, but they are kind of going through a scheme difference. They went from playing in the league. I know they were top 5 almost every year in man when Dan Quinn was here, and then you go to Zimmer, who is more of a a mix of zone. We'll do some men. And now Eberflus is a coach that is opted to this first couple games to go mostly zone. Now, I understand it a little bit because he's still trying to gain confidence in these guys. Like, you playing straight up man, it takes a lot of trust from a coach. And so I think that he's trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and I understand that that's what's going on. And you've had some injuries. You got guys coming back. It's a lot of moving parts. But, baby, the corners have to help their safeties, and the safeties have to help their corners too. So I think that there was some miscommunication, and I hope that guys kind of come together for next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the pass rush has to help the defensive backs
Well, I was gonna
because
get to that
Russell
part, too.
Wilson there were some plays
to
where
that,
it was
too.
way too much time. It is a full effort of all 11 guys. It's like an orchestra being conducted, and if you don't, the cornerbacks and the safety's best friends is a good pass rush, and it was
agree.
not consistent at all.
Yeah, you can't expect for them to cover, and that's the thing is when even what the scoreboard tells you, and what the box score tells you with Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors. Every time they touch the ball, it was a big play. Every time the receivers touch the ball, it was a big play. So that means that it's a big play downfield. That means that these players are slow developing.
Yeah.
That means that quarterback is getting into their drop, being able to hitch and drive that ball. And credit to Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
He said, put some respect on my name. You understand me? Like, don't forget, I am and have been one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL, period. And he showed you that yesterday, but I agree with you. The pass rush was not effective enough. And I know Eberflus is not a blitzy type coach, but I really hope that we saw in the Philly game, situationally, he would bring some blitzes and stuff. And so I hope that he figures out, when to do that. And I know he's more than capable of being able to figure out when situationally that he's going to have to do this to help out this pass rush. But let Jerry tell it. You got another human that might be helping you with that, too.
Yep, that's what I was just about to say. They just signed
Go ahead,
Jadeveon
girl.
Clowney. So obviously, they saw some things against the Giants where they're like, all right, we need some help. We're going to go get it. And I just lost my point. I was about to ask y'all a question.
That's
and
okay. You were
just
talking
lost
about
my-
with
No.
Clowney?
Oh, James Houston. Wow. Sorry.
Yes.
James Houston having a sack in that game was on the first drive, I believe. And most of your pressure coming from your interior, Kenny Clark, Oso Digizua, Solomon Thomas. Hello.
Yes, he helped out a lot in the run in that game.
I mean, just talk about, other guys who, necessarily needed to step up, because even a guy like Dante Fowler, who you brought back, to be that, I can say that solidified pass rusher on one of those sides. So just talk about, what y'all need to see more from that edge rush group.
Well, it's just disappointing because the Giants were playing with their third-string left tackle. Right? Andrew Thomas was out because of the foot sprain that he suffered last year. So the guy who comes in and plays second commits 4 penalties in the very first drive and gets benched. And then the rookie Bo comes in and plays the rest of the game. And your blindside blocker is the third teamer, and you're not able to exploit that. It's very disappointing.
That's what I was disappointed in. Is looking at this offensive line. I mean, that's a pass rusher's dream. Your left tackle's the third string at this point. Let me tell you something. I don't know what's going on over there, but one of the players like smacked James Houston and the Hudson.
Yeah, James Hudson, the one who was benched.
He straight up smacked James Houston in the replay. I know it shouldn't be funny, but I was cackling.
Yeah,
y'all.
that was an old Deacon Jones head slap. I mean, Conrad Dobler, that used to be the way it was played in the late 60s, early
Seriously?
70s. Oh, yeah, if not for Randy White, we'd probably still have the head slaps. No, the ball would be snapped and you just knock them upside the head. Oh, no.
Get Christy out of here.
Have you ever...
The door, Chris.
Yeah. No, hey, this is a story. Rayfield Wright tells this story. Hall of Fame offensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys. And his very first game, he's playing against the Rams, and it's Deacon Jones, the fearsome foursome. And it's the very first play, and he gets down in his stance. And Deacon Jones, he says he can just smell his breath. He's right nose to nose. And just before the ball is snapped, Deacon says, "Boy, does your mama know where you are?" The ball is snapped and boink. And And
I cannot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it used to be legal. They finally made it a penalty mid to late 70s.
Well, that's why they benched him. Well, number one, because of the million zillion false starts, and then on top of that, he slapped the crap out of James Houston. Y'all like,
and that's the one thing he didn't get penalized for.
So to answer your question, Nicole, my bad. That was
You should have been knocked out of the game for that.
for smacking him in the head.
out, yeah.
But anyway, James Houston, I thought he out of all your pass rushers right now, Eberflus's edge group, most of these guys are strong, and a lot of them are, I feel like most of them are like built for run stopping type, edges, even Marshawn Nealon. And like Fowler, I still need to see more from him. I think I expected a little bit more from him. And you would think, to your point, Christy, that they would have exploited that left side with him a little bit more. But James Houston right now feels like one of the only guys from that edge group that can maybe not consistently, but win on his own, one-on-one. And you need that right now. You need somebody that can do that because your people are double teaming your defensive ends, or your defensive tackles. So I'm hoping that James Houston is working his way into more snaps because I think he's going to help you from a pass rush standpoint right now as the rest of the edge group kind of gets their legs under him. We saw some good plays from Donovan Ezaraku on a couple drives, just kind of seeing him get his legs under him. I think him being undersized is affecting him a little bit starting his career. He's going to learn how to keep these guys' hands off of him and stuff over time. But, yeah, man, James Houston deserves more snaps at this point. I think that he makes your pass rush better. And we'll see how they work it out once Clowney gets in the building, All
right, we're going to take our second break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. And up next, who is our Cowboy of the game? That's what we're going to go with. All right, we'll be right back with more.
You funny.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Are you a Cowboys superfan? The search is on for the 2025 Fan of the Year presented by Captain Morgan. Now through September 29th, nominate extraordinary NFL fans, dynamic duos, and game changers who rep the Cowboys with pride and turn every game day into an unforgettable adventure. You could be sent to Super Bowl 60. Enter to win at NFL.com/Fan of the Year.
All right. And I know I said we're going to go through our Cowboy of the game. We're going to go Farmer's Dog of the game. All right. Who you got, Aisha?
For the dog of the game?
Farmer's Dog of the game.
The Farmer's Dog of the game. I'm going to give it to the quarterback.
Okay.
I'm going to give it to the quarterback. I know that there's another person who is the easier person to say, but I'm going to give it to the quarterback. The usage of his legs, the improvising, the ball placement, the confidence that he showed with the guys, like even with the drops and stuff, he's just constantly, and he just has an aggressive way of playing the game right now, where he is just like, sometimes you be like, Lord Jesus, like some of these windows is tight, but the confidence he's playing with makes your team better. I think he's elevating them right now. I think he sees the moment, and so I'm gonna give it to the quarterback.
Okay.
Big dog, not the little one.
I'm going to be obvious, yeah. My former dog of the game is Brandon Aubrey.
Okay.
I mean, just there was never a doubt on the sideline. I don't think anybody, most people in the building, no doubt that he was going to nail that 64-yarder. And, again, getting that gift from Russell Wilson late in overtime and just needing to get a few yards to set it up for the game winner, 46-yarder. So Brandon Aubrey is my farmer's dog of the game.
That is crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
What about you?
I'm going to go, can I pick two?
Sure. You're the host. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, my God. I'm going to go Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams. I feel like, granted, you look back to last year, and it took so long for the Cowboys to figure out, who was their running back and figure out the running game in a whole, the struggles there. But you look at this year, and, Shoddy, since day one he got hired, we are going to run the football. And he has not backed down from that. They have shown that they can run the football. And like he even said, with some of the best, even with the Eagles, of course. And granted, the Giants aren't considered the best, but they showed that they can be a great team. And so they were able to have some success there. I'm going to go Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams. 2 rushing touchdowns yesterday, and they had, 6 last year, already at 4 this year. Let's talk about it. So, yeah, that's my farmer's dog of the game. Yeah, what you got? Go ahead.
Well, because you said the running back room, and then I just thought to myself, there's a running back / fullback that
Hunter Lipke. I know.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
I just want to know what's going on.
It's fine. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Is it because he's blocking a whole bunch?
All right, well, this has been a great show. Cowboys get the win over the Giants. They now have their first win of the year. Now they
And Schottenheimer's career.
I know, he was doing a cry.
In the 1,000th game in Cowboys history.
I know he went to go
what
take a
crazy
shotty.
one. Yeah.
He had a shotty.
You know he had a shotty. Shotty o'clock.
Shotty o'clock. Well, it is time to go o'clock.
Bye.
Here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. It's a wrap. Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, Nicole Hutchison. We'll see y'all back here tomorrow.
He's so crazy, man.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?